Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's the final series in the round robin. After this, we're heading into the playoffs, everyone. We are now also on the newest patch, so we now have the Pinnacle quest rewards in the game, and all the other changes that obviously came, but like the Pinnacle quest rewards in particular are probably the biggest thing, especially Thrall and Carrigan currently thriving, banned a lot or instantly locked in. But this is the end of the round robin. We're entering the playoffs afterwards. Meta Madness. We currently have down at the bottom of the screen the 17 heroes that are currently permabanned for the event. And every single hero can only be played once, which obviously means that as we're progressing from map to map, more and more heroes are unavailable and the teams have to think outside of the box a little bit. With the recent changes in the patch that shook up the meta even more, it's kind of exciting right now. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I like that we have Tomb also as our starting map. Leo gets banned. I expect Carrigan to get either banned or picked, and the same is pretty much true for Thrall as well. Those are probably the two biggest winners currently when we're talking about the recent patch, and Thrall, as you can see, is already getting axed, so he's instantly out. Keep in mind, this tournament, we have in total, as we are moving on to the playoffs, 2,000 euros of prize money on the line. The whole prize money, by the way, put in by myself. And at that point, huge thank you to everybody that supports the stream over on patreon.com/Khaldor. Link is in the description. We have a lot of supporters over there, and I want to give a big shout out to everyone. Tournaments like this that we're hosting for the last 7 years, ever since Blizzard abandoned Heroes Esports, would not be possible without you guys. So big shout out, and again, if you guys want to become a supporter, then you can go over to patreon.com/Khaldor, or you can just simply check out the link in the description. But once again, thanks a lot. It's appreciated. Maiev is the first pick. Carrigan's still available. So let's see how much she's actually valued here. Because, yeah, it's gonna be... We haven't seen that much Carrigan yet. We've seen her once, played by Team Cat Red, who were going up against a really tough opponent, and Carrigan did never really gain any momentum there. Now we have Gul'dan. He has seen some quests or some talents change too. If you're going into a Fell Flame build, that now means that you can lose your stacks upon dying, but you have also a Pinnacle reward on your level 1. Some of the Pinnacle rewards are better than others. The thing is, it's always a question of whether you can actually complete them or not. And it's pretty difficult, especially when we're talking about competitive meta. There are just some where it's definitely in the cards, others where the stars really have to align. We get Rexa and Malfurion on the red team side, but going to be interesting to see how exactly Gul'dan is going to run this one out. Because I would love to see the Pinnacle quest at least attempted. But, yeah, time will tell. Carrigan still up. Thrall, the one that they started to ban out. His damage is absurd. It's not even so much about the Pinnacle reward. This is what most people are talking about right now. But just like the steps of the quest reward on his Maelstrom weapon as a new standard level 1 talent, it's just crazy. Like, the damage output is wild. Absolutely wild. So, Cho'Gall gets banned. He's out. Yeah, that happens more and more. But how will the team react? It's a little bit of a shame that today Ultralisk is not here to play for the Kings. They are playing with a sub today, because I believe Ultralisk would have jumped on the opportunity to play Carrigan. She gets picked anyways. I was honestly very surprised that she didn't get picked earlier. But yeah, we're going to get Carrigan here. And with that, we now have also Uther, so get the Divine Shield out. And for the IIS crew, Death and Taxes, the final 2 picks for them. Yeah, we need that front line. We need something, we need a main tank. They're going to go triple front line anyways. And then who's going to be the range damage for them? Greymane Stitches. Alright, so Stitches hook into Malfurion, tether from Maiev. A lot of control tools that they have, especially after 13 when Stitches gets his hook range extension. And it's going to be way more annoying to deal with. Yep. And with that we get Anna as the final pick. So Uther as a main tank. Uther's doubling as a main tank, and we're getting Anna, so double support to keep him alive here. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 1. Let's go. The Kings on the left in blue with Lopaka on Uther, our main tank, so to say. Morenas on Carrigan. We have the Pinnacle reward right here. So already she, again, has seen a lot of changes. Scorch on Ana, we got Ubi on Urel, and then Miriale on Gul'dan. The team playing today with a sub, playing with Miriale here as Ultralis couldn't join them. We have Vasilisco for the IIS crew on Greymane. Reformed play Stitches with Hungry for More on level 1, looking for those globes with Soaking on Rexa. Sven on Maiev, and Hunter Orc is playing Malfurion. So, let's get this show on the roads. What are we getting here? Chaotic Energy. Alright. So, at this point, we again are not... We haven't seen the Pinnacle... We haven't seen the Echo Corruption build yet. But the patch is new, and obviously what we're mostly looking forward to is the playoffs with the new patch. I still hope and think that we might get a few smaller adjustments until the playoffs start. So that's definitely a possibility. And might lead to some things just overall a bit more balanced. I have no problem with the Pinnacle rewards as a concept. I actually think it's just like the logical conclusion of the quest rewards in the first place. So if we're going down that path, it makes sense to go there. So let's see what we get from them. Down at the bottom of the map, Urel is currently holding their own. We have in the middle Vasilisco currently just sticking it out with the camp that they already claimed. Very quick, by the way, that they jumped on this one. Yep, and Stitches with Hungry for More. He doesn't have the globe generator. There's no Alexstrasza here. But this is still a map where you can get a lot of stacks. You can get a ton here. So lots of stacks as a potential for the IIS crew. And then a pretty big Stitches. Spray game. The timing I like. The conclusion there, not so much. Karrigan is already jumping around and they get the kill. Stitches is gone. Alright. Karrigan again with 21 stacks right now. So the hero kill was already a really nice contribution to that. It's all about Ravage here. And you get the additional damage after reaching the 75 stacks. And then of course it gets boosted even further later if you can go that far. But that's a really nice increase that you have there. So if Karrigan is able to complete that, then whew, she is a monster. I mean, she's pretty crazy currently. Banned a lot, picked a lot. By now, we have as level 4 talents the follow-up with Health Funnel. Starting to go up towards the top. And you can actually see that if you have a halfway decent Karrigan player, there is a really good shot of you getting that quest completed, or at least get the first quest reward. We're currently 2.5 minutes in and we already have 30 stacks for Karrigan, with now Ravaging Ferocity on level 4. So we're going to play around that a lot and working a few more stacks in. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about trying to take a couple of takedowns, a couple of kills with her. But if you're just going for the minion waves, you can also get decent numbers there. Talking about numbers, 5 for Stitches. Keep in mind that he also gets a movement speed increase. Just picking the talent alone gives you a 5% increase, but every 20 globes that you grab is going to increase that by another 5%. So you can go to race car Stitches very, very quickly. But yeah, on that we now have also Hunter-Gatherer. Not quite as successful over here. Got a bit of an increase, I gotta say. Yeah, locked in a few, but Stitches is still top dog when it comes to globe quests for now. Also has, of course, a head start. Let's be fair to Rexa here. Root into hook. But I don't think they can take down easily. Karrigan, on the other hand, she is rotating and is now at 42 stacks. So going to the first quest reward, she is getting very, very close on that. Tries also for a bit of added damage on Maiev and Sven. Sven is just saying, you know what? Not on my watch. There's a grenade and Karrigan gets saved. And now Sven goes down. Damn. Maiev murdered and Ana kept Karrigan alive. That double support gives him a lot of sustain, of course. Uther doubling as a main tank here is big. But yeah, that was neat. And here comes the next kill. And Karrigan is capitalizing on it with some extra stacks for her baseline. So that is not a great start for the IIS crew. They already lost 3 of their heroes. And the double support is thus far at least coming through for the Kings. Lots of sustain. Difficult to take anyone down here. Down at the bottom of the map we now have Ubi starting to move in. And yeah, they're starting to push this a bit too. Each team has turned in 40 gems. We have essentially the same amount. There's a bit of an excess for the for the blue team, but it's not really a whole lot. Karrigan wants another stack, and Morenas is getting a little bit too greedy. Yeah, that's the problem right there. Morenas wanted the kill on Hunter Hawk for the extra 5 stacks that he can get, and now that he died, that is of course slowing his progress down quite substantially. That's the problem when you have all of a sudden quest... This is the problem of quest rewards just in general. It's just so seductive to go in and try and get these kills. There's always the temptation to move in and say like, if I just can get that hit connected, and then all of a sudden you die, you lose time on lane, and you effectually fall behind. So patience is really a virtue when we're talking about quest handlers in general, and about pinnacle quests in particular. With a double support, you can always be more aggressive. That's, of course, the good news there. But you still have to be careful. So, 55. Karrigan is going to get more damage soon. Has now spec'd more into the build with Boundless Fury on level 7. And we still haven't seen the first turn in yet. Both teams have the gems they need. Both teams have plenty. 3 kills to 1, and yep, that's it. Hunter Hawk turns in. Red team is getting the first set of Web Weavers. So, they're all Gucci right now. First set of Web Weavers for them. And the first team to hit level 10 abilities. Giving us Gorge, Disc, Bullet, and Malfurion. Twilight Dream maybe again? Yep, Twilight Dream for him. They really want to blow everyone that gets hooked by Stitches and potentially gorged up out of the waters there. Karrigan! Yeah, Maelstrom. Maelstrom on level 1 right now, as Karrigan is starting to get really aggressive. 71 stacks for her, so we're soon gonna have her with the first reward kicking in, and that's some sweet extra damage that will also help to stack the rest of the quest a little bit faster. So they're already getting the numbers in here. And bam, that brings us to 75. So at this point, and another 125 additional damage for Ravage, which is obviously great. But they lost the fort in the middle. So while at least the progress on the stacks is doing well, they are starting to lose a bit of ground here. And, well, they're also losing Ural at the bottom. She uses her ult, gets gobbled up a second later, and has zero chance of... should have zero chance of escape. If Ubi's somehow getting out of this, that would be the escape of the century. And yeah, it's not happening. That's 26 gems that they just lost. Okay, that's a little bit of a disaster. The IRS crew now with some really good plays. They were initially 3 kills to 1. Now they take an important hero down. They eliminate gems from the opponent. And they get the fort in the middle, while severely damaging the one at the bottom of the map and potentially even following up here. If they can turn in now also the gems that Soaking is holding, that would be great, but they have to contest with the Web Weavers first, because the blue team turned in. Karrigan with Maelstrom, all alone right now, and goes down. The timing, atrocious. Just as we have the Web Weavers touching ground, Karrigan now missing. 88 stacks for her. This is definitely a quest that you can complete, and then the extra damage that you're getting is great, but she's dying a little bit too much. I mean, 2 out of the 3 kills against the blue team were Karrigan. 23,000 damage for Gul'dan. We got 15,000 for Rexa. And yeah, with Karrigan just now coming back, the first Web Weaver is already down. And the one in the middle is going to have a bit of a problem, because there's a full defense now set up by the IRS crew. And they are going to hold this one with ease. Bottom of the map, not a problem either. So this objective did nothing. Nada. If you compare objective value, then a clear victory for the red team. They at least took a fort out. The death of Karrigan set them back on this by a lot. Now, with that first quest reward though, it's much easier for Morenas with Ravage to get now additional stacks. And you can already see that. I mean, he's at 94 pretty much immediately. So getting to 125 is not that big of a deal currently. And Karrigan could fall into the side lanes to try and grab that. And once they're there, she will be pretty powerful here. Yep, it's moving towards the top, but mirrored also by Maiev. Let's not forget about that. Then again, we have now 3 kills to 3, and Usa, yeah, in the middle, they're getting their wave. Karrigan is sitting up at the top, gets a few more hits in, and is now at 102. So just a little bit more than 20 shy of completing this. The attack, yeah, there's the Uther, sorry, the Malfurion follow-up. Kerrigan with a Maelstrom, Divine Shield, they lost Gul'dan, they still got some damage. Kerrigan, Chrysalis, and Moranas gets attacked again. Yeah, no Divine Shield available anymore, so couldn't use that here either. They lost Gul'dan already, couldn't get a counter kill. Now the Web Weavers are slowly coming down. So while all of this is nice and neat, what we're seeing from Kerrigan and some of the others, at the end of the day, it's currently still the red team that is pulling ahead here. They're ahead by a level, and they have now another objective that is very likely to help them destroy additional forts. So they're gaining ground. There's a lot of scaling into the late game that's obviously going to be very important, especially for Moranos and Kerrigan, but that doesn't guarantee you that you're going to be able to pull that one off. So there's a lot of hook extension now. Stitches might not have the most. Nice combo. Horrify! Malfurion is gone. Malfurion is gone. Stitches, as I was about to say, does not have the most globes on his level 1. But still, that was a good kill on Malfurion. They are still down another fort at the bottom of the map. And let's be honest, this one is not going to survive very long. So, yeah, Kerrigan now with 120 stacks, one more minion wave, one more hero kill, and they are gonna have a lot more damage on her. And with that, I mean a lot. She is going to start wrecking things, and already just like jumping around the wave alone is big. So, just looking at the raw numbers, 70,000 siege damage for Kerrigan, 26,000 damage just on the raw hero numbers, which puts her in a pretty decent spot actually. She's second highest PvP damage now. So pretty high up there. And her quest is completed, so that's the pinnacle reward that they just got. And Kerrigan is at this point a menace. An absolute menace to deal with. They don't have a level 16 talent though. The opponent does, they don't. Stitches, the combo does not work, but she has now an additional 325 damage on this bad boy. That's massive. 325 in total. That's absolutely bonkers. So the damage she gets with this is fantastic for her. Now the red team turns in again. This is the big problem, that the red team has essentially monopolized the objective. Still not a single fort lost. At least the minions do a bit of damage. For the blue team, it's more important to take the wave out and get level 16. So, yeah. They are also holding a lot of gems here that they haven't turned in yet. They needed that level 16 talent. Now they have it. After Chrysalis, we're now getting the painful spikes. We have also Uther with the double, thanks to Benediction. Kerrigan, again, being aggressive here. They have two supports to try and assist her, but she also needs to dish out the damage, obviously, as a result. Her and Gul'dan, there's the Horrify, and they get Greymane. Beautiful follow-up. Gul'dan with a great ult, and then the follow-up from Kerrigan is there immediately. The Web Weaver in the middle of the map already out, and Kerrigan gets gobbled up and gets killed. There's no way she... Uther was close enough with the Divine Shield. Okay, so Kerrigan goes a little bit ham here, but she has two supports behind her. Gets hooked again. There's the combo. The keep is still firing against the minions, but I think this was still too much. That's 25 gems. Honestly, at this point, why? Like, seriously, why? It's a bit too aggressive if you ask me. Half the team is defending because the Web Weavers were still pushing. You have two supports behind you, which is nice, but you're going up against... You know you're going up against Malfurion Silence and then against Stitches, and they just went too far. And with all of those gems, this is just too much. It's really too much. And now they might even lose Gul'dan, so a follow-up death would be disastrous. With him just going for the quick drain, he also immobilizes himself. That allows, of course, for Stitches to get a hook. Thankfully, they got the kill on Maiev, but, boah. Yeah, it's definitely some things where the kings have to tighten things up or it will be a problem. Once again, the hook on Miriala, this one was nice. And Kerrigan is back on the map. I mean, she has 40,000 damage. She's going to end up at the top damage dealer in the game. But she also died 3 times. So they get Anna here, at least initially. Uther has his ult back up in 5 seconds. They don't even need it. They can still save her. And Kerrigan is on the way. Moving through the middle first, I suppose. Another hook! Damn, son! And Uther gets blown to pieces. No chance for Uther. Kerrigan is sulking in the back a little bit and is just going for for minions and catapults. Yeah, they still have one support. Comes in with a quick jump. Gets still hit by Malfurion's ult. But they're baiting out some abilities now, so that definitely helps more. There's the combo, the stun, Kerrigan, Maelstrom! Ana is gone and Kerrigan gets disked. Fight is not necessarily over though. They go first of all for Alexa, at least for Misha. Kerrigan has the chance to go for a kill and does. Chrysalis, but she's still going to likely fall. Gets hooked again, was just trying to escape to the minion wave. One of her biggest problems is honestly the amount of CC. I think if there are different heroes on the red team side than Stitches and Maiev, then she can actually make these plays. The problem is every single time she's trying to jump back out onto a minion wave, there's a hook coming, there's a tether, and that mobility problem is wrecking her at the end of the day. It's 8 kills to 8. We have a 1 level advantage for the IIS crew. They've gotten 2 additional turn-ins over the blue team, but they haven't taken a keep out yet. Now with level 20, they can definitely make a move here. With level 20 talents currently, that's where they certainly have some chances to spiral this a bit faster. Maybe even go for that boss. We got Hunter's Blunderbuss in, Master Hooker is now ready, Kill Command, and we got the Shadow Orb Huntress with Malfurion upgrading into the Astral Communion. So they want that boss, and they want the get closer to the turn-in. But the boss is definitely now a thing. And the blue team is just letting that slide. They don't have level 20 yet. They know it. So, yeah, they are not making a move towards the top. They're just sitting down here and they're saying, alright, we're just going to turn in and trade a boss defense for an objective defense. Webweaver defense against boss defense. Pretty standard play on the map. Always hurts a little bit because you have to sacrifice your gems. But that's where we are. Stitches has now 30 stacks. There's level 10. We're getting the Omega. Nope. We're going to get Psionic Shift. That's first. And they're still looking to potentially fight. Keep alls. They're actually ignoring the boss for now. They're just willing to sacrifice this. They're pushing instead. So they're not defending. They're actually attacking instead. Hook hits Urel. She should be fine. She has her ult out. Yeah, the fort is gone. And the Divine Shield, yeah, saves her. So Uther just came close enough. Divine Shield is in. Now Gorge and Astral Communion are both gone. And that allows them to push. So they're now trying to just leverage the strength of their combo by being mega aggressive here. One big ult had to be used. Uther saving Urel was big. Urel still therefore has access to her own ult. But that's 1 fort down, and as long as these hooks are being dodged, they're fine. They open the wall on the keep up, they rotate down to the bottom of the map to try and take this fort out too. And the boss at the top is very likely not even going to be able to take down the keep. It's going to get close here. Yeah, okay, Maiev is now coming in. Sven actually abandons this. They were thinking about moving in and eliminating that keep. But the blue team is now pushing at the bottom of the map. Seems like Maiev is still trying to at least cleave this one out, take the minion waves out, grab the gems, the experience, and basically enable that catapult that's currently here. And once the catapult reaches that keep, it's gonna fall. So, yeah. Kerrigan with 4 deaths and 53,000 damage now. Gul'dan has overtaken her as top damage in the game. But Kerrigan can still drive this. Oh my god! Yeah, that one was already touching her. She barely dodged that. We have enough gems again for the IIS crew to get another objective. They can get another Webweaver wave now. So, yeah. Next Chrysalis from Kerrigan. Ana gets gorged. Kerrigan gets disked. They just throw everything at her the entire time. And there's the Divine Shield to save Ana. So 2 supports are still fine. Can they now go for Maiev? Kerrigan is starting to close that gap a little bit, but it's difficult. The red team is just rushing away. They don't want to give her those fights. Again, the hook. Maelstrom, ready. Another jump. Good damage, but just not enough. The team can't follow up on it quickly enough, and the red team just wants very specific fights. They want fights around hooks, around gorges, and they're controlling Kerrigan with the disc, with Rexar. But now they might be forced into a battle, and yeah, that's when it hurts. Once that Maiev and, Urel and also Karrigan jump in, Maiev goes down, and now a bit of momentum for the blue team. Which could honestly translate into an objective for them. They're not quite there yet, but they only need 3 gems, and that's pretty easy to grab here. So they can take that, and then finally deliver. Especially Ubi has to turn in with the 29 gems that he's holding. Red team is relying on hooks a lot now. They want vision, they want hooks, they might want to make their plays. We're now 20 minutes into the game, and it's a bit of a toughie for them. Boss is not up on the map, that's good for the red team. But yeah, we are slowly and steadily getting to a much more even game between the two of them. There's a structure advantage for the IIS crew that might now be eliminated. There's still the fort at the top that already takes damage. Down here it's a bit of a choke point battle. The team was able to grab the camp before Urel appeared. Murenas destroys everything. But they're not able to really take those fights. The problem is the IIS crew is eventually running out of space to run to and to dodge back out of. So unless they themselves get a kill, it's a problem. We have Stitches with the movement speed advantage, so he actually tried to move in. He gets the hook! Astral Communion has to be on point or he gets the Divine Shield out. There it is! Divine Shield is out anyways. Divine Shield is out. Misha is gone. Karrigan jumped in and now she comes once more with the ult through, trying to get the damage out. They are pushing them back from the keeps, but they're not as aggressively moving with Karrigan straight into the backline, even with a nano boost already being used for Karrigan. So the keep is destroyed. The fort at the top is also gone. Just now the Kings have started to pull ahead in structures, and they might still be able to do a bit more here. They have a web weave at the top that is likely going to expire soon, but they might be getting... even the wall is probably a question mark. But still, they've done well now. It's a really crazy first game, though. I mean, it's a bit of a wild one here. So, as is, we now have another wave burned out. They still have gems, but it's the red team that is now threatening the next turn-in. 40 gems for Stitches, which means in total 15% extra movement speed for him. We got 86,000 damage from Gul'dan, 58,000 from Greymane. Those are the 2 top damage dealers for the team. Yeah, and then obviously on top of that, we're also having 71,000 for Karrigan. Murenas is playing this a bit more cautious now. They will have to deal with those hooks. And you can really tell that the red team doesn't want to push into them. They want to play back, get the hook, and then play that out. And yeah, the roots are always there. Trust is there. But here comes the pressure. Once again, Uth has his Divine Shield back up, so he's ready to support whoever gets gorged. And they're trying to get some damage on that keep. For the blue team, it's also important to keep their opponents at bay. There's again the Gorge combo, and this time he doesn't even get to the backline. Stitches is about to go down. Karrigan wants him, is just out of range, comes in, drops him hard. There's the Divine Shield. This could be the moment that flips the game. They go for soaking. Misha's already gone. He's trying to feign his death. Nobody's believing that shit. And that's the kill on Rexa. 12 kills to 8. Rexa down. Stitches down. 5 versus 3. And they immediately abandon the mid lane and go straight down to the bottom as they are targeting the core. Instantly there. So Karrigan again coming through with damage. Trying for Maiev this time. They are starting to drop the shield on the core with Gul'dan alone. Karrigan picked a lot up in that last battle. 87,000 for her now. Gul'dan at 100k. Joined the 6-digit club in the damage department. The defense is solid though. They're really trying to keep them at bay as best as they can. Just buying a little bit of time for Stitches, for Rexa. But the core is slowly and steadily falling. The disc had to be used to stop Karrigan. The root as the follow-up. But Gul'dan is getting damaged through over and over and over again. Karrigan also, they're starting to commit here. Stitches is back, but the core is down to 50%. They're going straight for the right click. They are committing 20%, 10, and that is game. The lead to the Kings as they take the victory on Tomb of the Spider Queen. GG. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. it really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Infernal Shrines, map number 2. So, 10 heroes were played and cannot be played again, and we'll see what the IIS crew is now pulling off. They were close. It was a bit of a crazy game at times, but with all of those stitches, hooks, and with the tethers that we saw from Maiev, Kerrigan had a really rough time. Maybe you could argue that Morenas was also a bit too aggressive at times, and was obviously hoping to have more of a momentum. Falstad now getting banned. Falstad is one of the heroes that is still available that has pinnacle quests. Falstad has currently a bit of an issue. His Gathering Storm talent is banned because it can't be picked because it apparently stacks faster than it's supposed to. So there should be a patch soon, TM, but if players wanted to go for that specific talent, they wouldn't be allowed to use it right now. But again, he has multiple pinnacle quests right now, so not really a problem. We've seen him quite a bit. In this case now fully banned out on Infernal Shrines, and we get the ban on Thrall. Yeah, Thrall, he has been played in all of the previous series, and he always ended up being the top damage dealer, or one of the top damage dealers, even without him completing the pinnacle quest reward. And that's kind of bonkers. I mean, once that he goes Maelstrom Weapon and has 40 stacks, the damage output and utility is just crazy. If he actually makes it and gets 100 stacks on that talent and the pinnacle reward, that sustain that he gets through that is just nasty. So Thrall has been the big winner of the recent patch. So yeah, that's also one of the reasons why, again, we talked a little bit about, hey, there will likely be adjustments to some numbers and some of the things that Blizzard introduced just now. Maybe before the playoffs start, time will tell. We get Malthael and we get Arthas as our starting choices, with Diablo already taken on the IIS crew's side. For the red team, we have actually seen a very interesting focus also on the frontliners here. Alexstrasza and Mephisto. As much as I like Alexstrasza, I would have loved for them to take Alexstrasza together with Stitches. That has happened a bit more often, and I always think it's fun. But they now have, of course, 4 shrines, the Dragon Queen transformation, which is kind of nice. It's like the old school thing that we saw in NA during HGC a lot. Alexstrasza as a support on this map. They love to go for double transformations. Either Tassadar, Archon, Tychus, Odin, or they threw in Alexstrasza for the Dragon Queen and were trying to dominate the objective that way. So NA in particular played that a lot. Europe tried it one or two times and they were like, nah, not worth it. But NA stuck to that for a long, long time. And, well, here comes Deckard Cain. Deckard Cain has a ban, and we got also the ban on Samuro. Yeah, NA always, like NA usually in all of the esports that I know does quite well when the game is still fresh and people haven't really figured out how to play it because they come in with some crazy ideas and strategies. NA usually falls off very quickly once that the game is figured out more. And there is more of like a best way to play the game, and when it comes down to like mechanics and other things, it's a little bit of a rule of thumb thing. I'm not saying that it applies to every single esports out there, but at least all the esports that I've been involved so far, that was the general trend. Early on, when the game gets released and everybody's still trying to figure things out, NA does really well. As the players are getting to know the game more, things are getting figured out, people know how to counter stuff, and it's just more about like clean play, about strategies and mechanics. Than NA oftentimes still sticks to gimmicky strategies and falls behind. So yeah, it was true in Warcraft, Starcraft, Heroes, and I'm sure there's other games out there where that gets mirrored, but that seems to be a bit of a trend in general. And then usually it's the Koreans that just through mechanics alone are just insane. Cassia, Auriel, and Imperius as we are finalizing draft number 1. So we get Tracer and Sonya for the red team. And yeah, with Sonya and Diablo, they got a nice presence on the shrines, of course. Same as also can be said of Arthas. There's a triple front line for the Kings now. But well, with that, let's head into game number 2. Infernal Shrines, everybody. The Kings are in the lead, and now that we're heading into Infernal Shrines, we got Lopaka on Arthas, Scorch on Auriel, Ubi with Malthael, Morenas is playing Imperius, and Miriale on Cassia. The triple front line for the Kings. As on the right side, we got Hunter Orc with Alexstrasza going into the Circle of Life here on level 1. Reformed against Porky. is playing Soul Shield, and yeah, hailing from NA. Big shout out, by the way, to every NA player that plays cross server. Always a bit of a ping disadvantage, but more than welcome here in the tournaments on the European server. And I always think it's awesome when they actually play cross server. Puts, of course, a bit more of a strain on them, also with the time difference. Sven on Tracer, we got Vasilisco on Mephisto, and Soaking on Sonya. Starting things off with a bit of a slam as we get Fear the Reaper on level 1 for Malthael. So, let the games begin over here. Alexstrasza, yep, we'll see. I mean, honestly, at this point, I just lack... We're lacking somebody that can really benefit from this. The team itself is obviously going to enjoy the extra sustain that they're going to grab. But, yeah. Top side, Malthael, very safe rotation from Ubi right now against this. We have down at the bottom, the first camps now up, and teams are starting to make their plays here. Trying to take the camps, and it seems like the blue team is actually willing to maybe invade? Nah. A little bit. Well, I guess they were interested in doing it, but then were a moment too late, and it didn't work out after all. So, down at the bottom of the map now, still Alexstrasza already firing things up together with Diablo. The little... the little tadpole over here. And, well, he's in trouble. There was a great whip from Oriel, and that leads to a kill. So, Oriel is sharp as a whip here. And Malthael is dead. Oh, but so is Tracer. She went a little bit too deep and then lost to one of the towers. So, yeah. I have no idea how a tower shot all of a sudden gets a kill up there. I guess she dodged out through the mist, but, yeah, she's gone. We got on level 1 now, 10 stacks already for Unyielding Power. Over in the middle, I mean, with Vasilisco, by the way, here on Mephisto, once that we're talking about the actual shrine fights, this is also going to have a very big impact there, considering that there was actually a time when Mephisto was one of the go-to heroes to play on this map. They're going again for Soaking, trying to get the side lane destroyed. Bit of body blocking here. Spin to win. Do they get a cooldown back? And the answer is, nah, they're just barely missing out on this. And then the turn attempt by Diablo. Once more, we have Morenas going deep and aggressive, but they can't get a kill. Neither team can get a kill here. 2 kills to 1. But yeah, lots of aggression at this point. Right now, we have another quick hit into the wall. Down at the bottom of the map, still Tracer. Over here, the next camp about to be taken. And yeah, let's see. For now, it's just Shamans, Shamans, Shamans. And then the fight for the first Arcane Punisher here in the middle. Nobody hitting level 7 anytime soon. Well, they have Sonya still at the top, so she's going for the next wave. Obviously, the timing on the Shaman camp is a little bit slower for the Kings. It's going to make this a bit easier. Taking out the Shaman, which they do. So they will have a bit more pressure at the top. But it's actually the teams that are still trying to get kills here. So yeah, nobody fell straight towards the shrine and just start fighting for that. Instead, they were hoping to get a quick hit at the top. And now both of them are waiting for level 7 talents. Just playing it around the edges here. But they clearly want that next talent before they're engaging in anything else. And yeah, they're getting it at essentially the same time. So the Flame Buffet build has been continued a bit. 4 and 7 for Alexstrasza with now Fire Within. Diablo with the Internal Flames. And on the other side, we're getting Arthas now with the Icebound Fortitudes of survivability for him. I mean, he's essentially the main tank for the team here. And they're trying again with a follow-up. And the lock on Vasilisco. And he's dead. Yeah. Just goes down on Mephisto. They weren't able to save him here. Now another Howling Blast. This time connecting with Sonya. She gets whipped into the wall. And that is a double kill right there. They are trying for Diablo. Can't kill him. They got close, but weren't able to eliminate him. Now they have the Punisher on top of that too. So that's 4 kills to 1. Not a big lead in experience. Alexstrasza is popping the Dragon Queen to defend. But the wall at least should fall. So, from the perspective of the Kings, that was already a win. But they're not getting too much infrastructure in the middle. The wall is gone. Some damage on the fort should be a given. More than that, a little bit unlikely. So, Diablo, yeah, they're gonna get him too, aren't they? Yup, That's a half-level lead now, but they might lose at least Morenas. Yeah, Morenas gets absolutely swamped by the opponent and then killed. And Scorch needs to be very careful here too. As you can see, super low. So, yep, down at the bottom of the map, they're still going for the next minion wave. And with that, 2 stacks on the whip. A couple more mercenary camps that they can take. Quest isn't completed yet for Alexstrasza, but she's close. Will have it for the next fight, for the next objective, and then they can capitalize on that sustain, of course, as well. But there's not really that big of a gap. There's an advantage now in structures for the Kings. It's nothing too big, but an early level 10 for them, but the gap in experience is not that great. Syndragosa, last rites. Alexstrasza done with their quest. We get the delivery for Imperius with the Wrath of the Anguirus. Was actually just waiting for it to be used here, but Imperius is now coming in from the top. Gets a connect. They go for Diablo. Gets the heal. And they still go for delivery. And Diablo is gone. Even with everything that Alexstrasza is trying to pull here, they can't save him. And Tracer is just getting rocked by Arthas a moment later. Absolutely locked down. And that was the perfect opportunity to get the kill. So now we have the fort at the bottom destroyed. Also with the back tower, of course. Sonya will be met by Malthael eventually. So far he hasn't gotten himself a stack for his level 1. But they're actually pushing for the wall at the bottom of the map. They're not even trying to go for the fort in the middle. Typically you see the first rotation then head towards the mid lane instead and try and get value there. But instead of going for the fort, they took one of the towers out and pressured this lane even further. It's 7 kills to 2. They're still chasing. Sonya's coming in. So is Malthael though. Yeah, we might see the next fight coming up here. Sulking was aiming for an early spear, trying to anticipate the movements a little bit. But now they're forced into a fight that I'm not quite sure they really want to take. Malthael is low fairly quickly, so that's already a good start for the IIS crew if they have to fight this one out. But there comes Aegis. Arthas. Yeah, and he gets out. The bomb from Tracer, the barbecue. And Lopaka is dead. That was a bit of a clutch one there by the crew, but they get the kill and they get a follow-up. They take down Oriel, so that's 2 more kills for them. And they might get number 3 with Morenas. It's a triple, baby! 3 heroes down as they get 3 kills and can now pressure the mid lane. Yeah, job well done. Arthur's the first one to fall. Oriel as the follow-up doesn't stand a chance either. And then they are able to put also Imperius into a corner that allows them to go for the fort in the middle. Not take it out, but still very easy free damage for them that they can now build on. It was an important step back into the game because things were starting to fall apart is maybe a little bit strong, but they were definitely on the back foot. Momentum wasn't in their favor. Now that they've gotten those kills and have the lead on the objective in the early start, it helps. Of course also that they are now taking a lead in experience, just in general. That early level 13 talent is certainly useful. Pacify for Alexstrasza, and with Imperius at the bottom of the map, it's pretty clear that the Kings are going to give up the objective. They will still defend here. They have their own level 13 talent now, which gives us also Shatter Armor. Big fight already out. Still a 4 versus 4 for now. 4 versus 5 basically. But now that Imperius is coming in, he gets the connect, and Tracer explodes. Not sure if they can still win the objective. They're already too far behind, but they can certainly make this costly for the IIS crew. Well, and as I say that, we have Oriel eliminated, and Sonya is going for the objective. They don't have a support here anymore. They don't have the sustain. Objective taken. They want a kill. Last rites. Nope, it's not working like that. Lopaga's about to die. They lose Malthael, and that's just way too many heroes gone. So last rites already didn't work out for them, and then they lost pretty much the entire team with the exception of Cassia. So that one hurt. Yeah, that is going to get punished. Great job by the IIS crew, and they are now all of a sudden the ones that are not only extending their lead, but also building up a huge amount of momentum. Destroying that fort at the top certainly helps. Diablo is now in the middle and is potentially pushing for the next fort. They leave the Punisher alone, which clearly indicates that they are hoping for a double fort play here. And Tracer is pushing the bot lane too, so this has to be defended. In the middle, they only have Arthas here, Ubi too, but no chance. Easy. And the gap in experience is probably the biggest concern right now, because that's a 1.5 level lead. And I think the Kings are trying to fight before level 16 is available for their opponents. But they lose the camp, and now things are starting to get a bit tricky. If you look over towards the experience, look at the gap in minion experience. It's ridiculous. 6,000. That's crazy. The laning so much better for the IIS crew now. Like, really strong there. And now they're about to hit level 16. Likely gonna hit in this fight. Diablo, can they save him? Well, there's also Syndragosa, which didn't really go anywhere. They try... Aegis. Aegis saving the day for now. But level 16 talents are now ready. That's the advantage in the fight already as is. The barbecue and goodbye. That's 2 down. Imperius and Arthur's are both gone. And, boah. 2 level advantage... Sorry. 1.5 level advantage still. But now they have, at the bottom of the map, the chance to go for another wall. Maybe even damage the fort. So... the IIS crew is going ham on this. They are doing a huge amount of damage now. 11 to 8 on the kill count. That is the fort gone. The final fort has now fallen. And yeah, for the blue team, the most important thing is catch up in talents. They're gonna try at least that. And well, with that now we have only 1 camp up on the map, so that's the only thing that he can actually go for. The damage output is 33,000 for Mephisto. He's the top DPS for the red team, whereas on the other side with Cassia, we still have that exceeded by 12k, 45,000 in total for Cassia, who's by the way the only one that hasn't died yet for the Kings. Yeah, nice ult connect. And they follow up. Aegis to save the day. Right, and well, that is, yeah, they're not having any luck in the last few fights, do they now? That's Malthael gone, soaking alive, saved by Alexstrasza, Miriale in a corner, and that is another triple kill. 3 more heroes eliminated. Now they can go for the camp, and they're going to get it. So that's now a 2-level advantage nearly. Another objective that is coming up. And it's the red team's show for now. Even in the even talent fight, they couldn't make a difference. Now we have still no stack for Malthael, so that cooldown reduction that he really likes to get with his last rites is not really in the cards. The problem is also the big difference in experience now, because this could very well translate into a level 20 talent with a Punisher push. Depends a bit on how they play it, if the blue team is willing to attack here. If the red team gets their will, they will most likely just leave it at 39 stacks and then try and get experience on the lanes, wait until they're close to 20, then get the objective and push in the middle with a level 20 advantage for it. So the blue team is going to try and force their hand by fighting here. It's the best battle that they're going to get. After 20 is hit, they're only going to get horrible fights. So this is the one fight on 16 talents that they can go for, and they're trying. Syndragosa hitting 2. Still spin to win from Sonya. Last rights, and nope. Alexstrasza is trying her thing and saves soaking. Down here we have the ult from Mephisto being used again, and Imperius is the first one to die in the battle. The Kings are down to 4 once more, and Oriel gets caught, comes in with a heal, and then the barbecue from Porky. They are falling apart. This is just lights out. Miriale is about to die too. Frozen Punisher is taken. That's only Malthael alive. He gets out of the fight, but he alone is going to have pretty much no chance of defending this. They have a 20-second window until Imperius is back, and then the others are going to slowly start to come back too. But this is looking more and more like the first point on the board for the IIS crew. They are breezing through the middle like hot butter through cheese. 18 kills, 2-8, and that's going to be the big hit for the core right now. So, yeah, this is very likely going to be the conclusion. They got the level 20 talents already. We have 50,000 damage now for Mephisto. Punisher jumps in. Malthael is gone. They deviated back towards the top and were able to get the kill there. And now, obviously, this is going to be the end of the second map. After the Kings took map 1, the IIS crew takes game number 2. They take the victory on Infernal Shrines as we're getting ready for game number 3. Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series. Sky Temple, the last map not only of the series, but also the last map in the round robin. Good job by the IS crew, by the way, that they came in and instantly, you know, started to just crush it on the second map. Great for them. Good performance. Now as we're heading into game number 3, we have 20 heroes banned because they were played. We have 17 eliminated because they're banned for the entire tournament. And we have 6 more that will be banned out right now, and they're starting with the Vikings. Guys, why you hate fun? Disappointing. The Birdie also gets banned. Yeah, again, Falstad, another one that has benefited from the fact that we now have pinnacle quests and rewards, and Falstad in general getting a bit of a boost to that level 1 quest. So he gets banned out. Not gonna play a role here today. But what are we getting for Sky Temple? Are we going to get something crazy, or are teams just trying to draft the most normal draft that they can still put together, given the restrictions that we currently have here? The Kings, they have done extremely well throughout the entire tournament. So, yeah, they've absolutely crushed it. And they are currently also 2nd place. They will likely take over the 1st place slot over the Gremlins. And, yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what the Kings can pull off here. Because, again, they haven't lost too many maps just yet. So losing one to the IIS crew, who kind of struggled a little bit throughout the tournament, is kind of interesting. Now we get Illidan banned out too. But, hey, maybe the IIS crew can now lock in another win. They've had so much bad luck. I've been talking about this a couple of times already. They had so many games where you just felt, okay, they got the game now. And they were always just like this close to killing a hero, couldn't kill it, just escaped. And every time when there was a situation where things could turn against them, it just did. And when they had a chance to flip the script, it just didn't pan out for them. So if they already used up all of their bad luck now in the earlier stages, and the playoffs are going to be an absolute blast for them, because they certainly have the potential with the guys that are playing there, and we've seen that now multiple times. Anubarak as our starting pick for the Nameless Kings. So going for a bit of a dive. I'm always looking at Ubi and think, okay, what is he going to play? His Zeratul in particular is a total menace. Was throughout the entire tournament. But there it is! The cheesy comp! Samuro Abathar! That's a cheesy comp right there. Ah, the good old days. In the days of HGC, where Ethereal Angel played Samuro Abathar here and just cheesed the hell out of their opponents. And he copied it from Monkey, who used it in Storm League, and that's where Ethereal then faced off against it and was like, this is absolute cancer, I need to copy that for HGC. And they devised some strategies around it, and for a week or two, not very long, just like 1 weekend, 2 weekends, Samuro Abathar was just an absolute disaster. And teams started to learn how to deal with it, and brought, so it started disappearing again. But it definitely gave the early adopters a few easy free wins, and it was super annoying to go up against. Now we get Jaina and we get Tyrande. Those are our 2 picks. So we have Anubarak dive, stun, Tyrande follow up, and then immediately you're getting the Jaina burst damage in. Zul banned out, so he can't contribute to the fights, obviously, but also the easy rotations between the lanes on Sky Temple. If you have somebody that can, you know, just come in, swing the scythe a time or two, and then take the minion wave out and rotate back down towards the bottom or towards the middle. That's essentially what they want to get rid of here. Follow-ups also with the Poison Nova and other stuff. Try and eliminate that. I was just about to say that Tyrael is still available as a pick for the IIS crew, and, well, I guess he's not anymore. So they banned Tyrael out. But after they've already shown their cards a little bit of how annoying they want to be, what else are they going to get? I think... Isn't Greymane still up? He would be a very nice addition for Abathar as well. Was Greymane played in this series? But yeah, copy on Greymane would be nice. Kharazim, another great pick here too. Muradin and Kharazim both really benefit from having a symbiote. And Samuro is likely going to be the one that gets cloned when they're trying to push for structures and try to just take out a fort here or keep there. So then they're going to go for the double in those instances. But Kharazim, when he starts to really latch onto you and has a symbiote on top of it, that's awesome. That's really when Abathar is getting annoying. Ragnaros and Alarak. Okay, so we could get a Sulfuras follow-up for even more damage. Or, obviously, you could go for Lava Wave if you're worried about lane control, maybe against Samuro. So that's an option to control a little bit more on the macro side. And then on top of that, we have Alarak. So it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a nice one. I like it. So, as we're coming in, we got our final pick. And it is Li Ming. So, ladies and gentlemen, Sky Temple, the last map of the round robin before we're heading into the playoffs. Well, let's get the party started. Sky Temple, the final map, and it is time to party. On the left, we have Ubi. On Ragnaros, we get Tyrande, played by Scorch. Holopaka on Anubarak. Morenas on Alarak, and then we get Miriale on Jaina. On the right side of the map, the IS crew with Basilisk on Liming. We get Hunter Orc on Kharazim, Soaking on Samuro, Reformed Porky on Muradin, and Sven on Abathar. And we're back. So apparently there was a bit of a problem for Hunter Orc. There were a couple of tech issues that we had today. Mostly in between games, but apparently, what was it? I think Sven talked a bit about how at some point his Synapse just decided that it wants to run a dozen updates and that he doesn't need his mouse and keyboard for the time being. So yeah, that kind of happened. And yeah, I certainly have heard that story more than once. Sulfuras Hungers on level 1, so a couple more stacks here for Ragnaros, and he's going to be quite interesting. I mean, with Ragnaros you can really defend fairly easy if you are on lane and you just pop your trade, so this might be a bit of a counter play that they are attempting to use against this cheese that Samuro and Abathar can do. If you're unfamiliar with this, essentially what you're just simply doing is you have Abathar assisting Samuro a lot on these side lanes. Samuro sneaks onto structures, you copy Samuro, and you normally then get a lot of damage out against those. And obviously this is a map where taking structures out directly contributes to your objective getting more value. So teams oftentimes focus very heavily on this. Talking about focusing things, damn, they focused Alarak down like he's nothing. Went through that bad boy like hot butter through cheese. And now it's still a fight for the... Oh, for the camp and Muradin. Dude, like, clutch Li Ming down and Nubarak down. They are throwing everything on this camp. And the red team gets it. And now they want also Tyrande. That's 2 heroes down. And Miriale can also kiss this one goodbye. That is Jaina gone. 4 kills to 1. And they didn't get the camp either. That was big. That was really big. That was a huge step for the IIS crew. Lead-in experience. They have the camp at the bottom of the map. This one hasn't been taken yet by the blue team, so they will need to spend some time to take that, which loses them a little bit of time on the lane. But yeah, that was about the best case scenario for the IIS crew. I mean, they really committed to this one. The blue team thought that eventually, you know, they would bail out and just retreat, and they just didn't. So that was pretty awesome. Now we got level 4 on the board already. It's a small advantage in the early game, but this can really start to build up. And as already explained, one of the things that you're of course going to try and do is try and get some structural damage in before the objective even spawns. And that's what they're underway on doing. Camp is getting leashed as well, so that doesn't help them either. Now Anubarak might even get caught low. And Kharazim, yeah, really wanted him here. So they have to commit to Ragnaros' trade very, very early. And they're also starting to chase Jaina at the bottom of the map. With Muradin, yeah, getting dropped off his horse. They might... No, they're not going to get there. But yeah, there's a very early commitment here from Ragnaros too. So it's usually something that you don't want to throw out that early if you can help it. But they're really forced into a pretty awkward position right now. Alarak has not gone into stacks, by the way. No lightning build for him. So the temple's activating as they are still fighting for the camp, but they're getting in time. and the red team is ready in the middle to get shots fired. And this is easily going to take that wall out. The blue team still willing to battle. I mean, they wanna brawl this out. There's half a level that's missing until level 7 talent, so for the IIS crew, if they get to 7, that would be great. They have already Samuro down at the bottom of the map now. And over here, with the help of Abathar, they're only focusing on one temple. They know that at the top they won't be able to do more than that. But they are apparently looking for Ragnaros. They can't get the kill here, though. But Muradin wants to get a few more shots in. So, yes, they're just trying to play around them a bit. And this is going to be a theme for parts of the game, for sure. Where they're just going to try and sneak around them, get some structural damage done, get value out of the shrines, specifically at the beginning of the game. So one tower already down over here. And for the blue team, they are struggling a bit to get big value. And of course, you have Mule as well. So, especially when we're talking about keeps and damage through temples, Abathar can make a big difference here. So the blue team is at least getting a few more shots in. But Muradin has retaken control over at the top and is getting a lot of value here. So the fort is taking damage. Abathar is muling up the middle. And this was a nice win for the red team. And they're getting another kill in the mid lane with Samuro and Abathar as they're taking Jaina out. So Jaina now dropped. And they kill Alarak too. They are chasing them hard. I mean, that whole commando there of Karazim with Abathar support and Muradin both jumping in and really latching on to opponents is a big problem for the Kings. And this is not a great start for them whatsoever. Samuro is just reigning supreme at the bot and mid lane. The rest of the team is chasing heroes whenever they can. Stacks are at least coming together quite nicely for someone like Ragnaros, who's now at 23 and 5 stacks on his Sulfuras Hungers, and then also on Catching Fire. But this could this is in danger of dropping out of control a bit. This could spiral out of control very quickly. Half a level until 10. If you can then push for some structures, even better. And again, Abathar has still a couple of things that he can mule up whenever the ability is ready. At the top, for example, repaired all of this easily. And they are roaming the map right now, just hoping for some targets. Now, they took the camp at the bottom of the map. Here come level 10 abilities. Haymaker, and they went for Bladestorm. Haymaker and Bladestorm, plus 7-sided strike. Liming not making a choice yet. I guess waiting for a Nubarak. Typically, when you see Cocoon, it's going to be Disintegrate. But actually, she doesn't even care. She's like, nah, even if it goes Cocoon, who cares? We'll just burn it down and we go for Wave of Force. At the top, soaking. No way. He gets out? Nah, he gets crushed. The meatball build, the big bad meatball came in and dropped him. So that's finally another kill for the Kings. Was about time. They went Lava Wave, so they are worried about some of the macro plays that could be executed with Samuro and Abathar. So they went Lava Wave. We got Counter-Strike and also Starfall for Tyrande as the bottom temple is now up. And here comes the big fight in the choke point. Yeah, 7-sided strike. Beautiful play after the Haymaker. So Haymaker comes in, isolates the target, and then BAM! And Nubarak gets wrecked. Yeah, check this one out. There's the Haymaker. Whoop! And then the 7-sided strike from Karazim right there. Now they're still trying to take control. Counter-Strike is in. Alarak gets focused. And they get the kill. Li Ming gets the value. And they're going with another Stormbolt straight in for Ragnaros and try to drop Ubi too. Now the red team is dropping a little bit low. And they are about to lose Soaking again. Oh my god. Woo! He gets kicked off the platform. Damn, that's some real hate there. That poor guy. Not only does the ragdoll get kicked across 2 screens, but then also dropped off the platform. I mean, that's some real hate right there. Now a double kill on Muradin and Karazim. So apparently the blue team doesn't like beards. Just took all of them out, and now they are finding themselves in a nice spot because all of a sudden they have some momentum here. And that poor little mule... The little mule that could. It tried. I mean, it tried. It really tried to like, slow them down, repair something. And it was just a big nope. And now the flank from Alarak eliminates Li Ming. Ooh, that hurts. Yeah, that really hurts. That's a fort gone. That's the first fort in the game that gets dropped. Still a few shots fired, this time towards the middle. This will be muled up by Abathar. And, well, here is that bit of counterplay that we're getting from Soaking. So, they take the top fort out. This is where Abathar becomes a huge problem, too. So, yep, there's that. Now, in the middle, that's where we're having still Jaina and Tyrande rotate over towards the camp to help out and attempt to claim that too. Over on the top, Watchtower. A little bit fought over here. Both teams have now level 13 talents. We get 23,000 damage from Li Ming, 15,000 from Jaina. And Samuro just with one camp after another currently. Sniffed out, but a bit too late, so I think after they... after the first invade on the camp backfired so heavily for the blue team, they're probably gonna think twice about trying to do it again. The only ones that haven't died in this game are, by the way, Ragnaros and Abathar. Those are the only two. So... yeah, trying to combo there, but Soaking is already gone. It's a really interesting third game so far. Okay, Lava Wave at the top. Lava Wave is probably going to help them a lot. It's actually kind of wild because typically you would never go for Lava Wave in the old days. Now we're going to have the next minion wave spawn here too, so the Lava Wave is going to get another one. And that helps them a lot with the defense of the top. So this could have been a disaster if they have to stick around on the boss because they're worried about a play made by the IIS crew. And then the top lane, you know, gets just pushed out. Abathar having that side lane pressure is a huge issue in a lot of situations. And with Ragnaros now going for Lava Wave, that takes that away. You're missing out on the Sulfuras follow-up, on the stun chain that they're trying to use here. So if you were hoping to get these very quick kills in, you can't rely on Ragnaros as a bit of a finisher anymore. You really have to just go for that combo around Tyrande, Alarak and Jaina, which should be more than enough, but it still plays a bit of a factor, of course. But the macro game is gonna make things a lot easier for you. And could also apply a bit of pressure on Slabathar, the Lord of the Slap.
Hail to the king, baby.
The one and only. Seems like it's going to be an easy exchange in Temples for now. Bottom goes to the blue team. Each team is now firing away against the forts. 10 minutes into the game. And yeah, everybody is just laying a few traps. Samuro is going to get more and more value as the game continues here. And the map opens up a little bit as long as he can get away. Has gone for wave clear here with his level 10 talent, but there's the 16 now. And that gives us Radiant Dash. So, this is where things are going to get fun for them regarding the stuns on the other side. And also the Merciless Strikes now for Samuro. Abathar obviously following this up with a bit of a slow, so they can really start chasing them now. 133 sadism for Alarak. Morenas, he has died, I believe, once. No, 3 times. Damn. Died 3 times in the early game, but 133 sadism now. They try for Muradin. Soaking. Stunned. And, yep, just whirlwinded to his demise. So he's gone. That's the end of Samuro. And that opens up the boss play. 16 versus 16. Abathar is sniffing that out with his toxic nests. Abathar also has to retreat as the lava wave is coming through at the top, so more top lane value. But the red team is actually trying to fight this one. They're trying to delay this and see if they can slowly take them out. And so far, they've at least dropped them low. As long as Li Ming can connect a few more combos here, they might actually have a shot in making this a very dire experience for the Kings. And the Kings are already retreating. There's another combo. Alarak is about to go down. Muradin is jumping deep. There's the double kill. The resets for Li Ming. It's a triple, baby. And the boss is taken. Boss is stolen, and they took 3 heroes out in the process. Holy hell, the IRS crew. Mad value. That's going to give them a fort at the bottom of the map. And with 30 seconds until we see the heroes come back, oh my god, they're going for Jaina. And Jaina, she's going to go down too. Jaina is gone. That's another staggered death right there. Holy crap, that hurts. Yeah, 12 kills to 7. And now we have a double objective coming up that they will at least partially go and double soak. And on top of that, of course, just all the value at the bottom of the map where they took a fort out, they steal the opponent's minions and camps away. And this is just crazy. So yeah, this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. Soaking is soaking at the top. And down at the bottom of the map, it's Porky. So, massive amount of shots fired. Blue team is probably going to try and stop at least the bottom shots at some point. But some value will be had one way or another. We have the minion wave contributing to the top lane pressure as well. Lava wave is currently not up, so they can't use it right away. But they're getting a full soak out of the top. And down at the bottom of the map, they got at least a few of the shots. So, they're looking amazing right now. Lava wave continuously with the pressure. It's actually going to take the small mule out. That's just sad. Mule. Ah, it survives! Okay, and the timing was a little bit off here. Doesn't get an additional... I mean, it got enough value, I suppose. But yeah, a few more seconds and then the minion waves spawn. Blizzard has essentially synced it up now with... It was the 2 patches before. Now the minions spawn always at the 30-second mark and the full minute. Ming with all the resets that she got in that last fight. 37,000 damage for her now. Way ahead of, for example, Jaina. So the mage battle for sure goes to her. So down at the bottom of the map, final shots are slowly being fired. But there's still a fort that they have to take out. And will. The lead in structures isn't that crazy for the red team. But it's there. And more importantly, they have a level 20 talent now. That gives us rewind. And we get also the dance of death right there. So, yep. You can do a lot of work with that. Yeah, you can definitely do a lot with this. On structures alone, if you're just trying to cheese things a little bit. So, yeah, we'll see what Samuro is able to pull off once that he utilizes Abathur for this too. Once more, Ragnaros with the defensive play, popping his trade. And there are still some shots left at the bottom of the map, and Samuro is on his way to lock those in. We'll probably take this one out first, go for the minion wave. Yep, dances his way straight over towards the point. And that's the final few shots fired, which is eliminating, I guess, both of these. Gate and... yeah, both of them are gone. So, structurally, the IS crew have taken a solid advantage here. And the level 20 talent, of course, but the Kings will catch up on that in half a level. They are playing mega defense now. One of the problems also that Alarak is now down to 100 sadism again. So, he lost a lot there. That extra death on him is... yeah, that hurt them a lot. Now we have, on top of that, of course... Look at the siege damage, by the way, from Ragnaros. Thanks to that lava wave, he's sitting at 200,000. It's absurd. That's doubling whatever... Like, Jaina has 100k. He's doubling that. Nobody on the red team is even coming close to this. It's just crazy. And now we have level 20 talents. Okay, submerged first. Rewind already being used to jump out. Might of the High Lord is now in. Anubrag also, talking about Rewind, went for the same talent. Ragnaros is now controlling the bot lane with this. Has not gone into the double lava wave charge. It was just said, okay, 1 is more than enough. Submerged on 20 is going to give me way more value with this. Boss is soon going to be up again. It's 37 seconds on the timer. So there's actually a chance that we're having another boss battle fight. Not a single keep gone yet. And the next temple is a single temple on the map. So one solo temple at the top is what we're going to see next. But they might try and go for the boss instead. Yeah, they take the copy out, but they're already here. And the boss comes out in 12 seconds. So Abathur's pushing the top lane a little bit. Karazim is taking care of the catapults first. Blue team is showing in the middle now. Muradin has seen them and jumps out just in time. Oh my god, that was close. And then, no, goes for the haymaker out of Karazim's ult. That coordination sucked a little bit. Yeah, they were definitely unhappy about that. Oh boy, that is annoying. That could, I'm not sure if this could have been a kill, but yeah. This, on the other hand, is just silly. No way. The solo boss move by Sven. Goes for the solo boss here and takes it. They claim the boss for the bot lane. Top side, we get the shots fired from Ragnaros as he channels the temple. That might help them to get that keep insanely low. I don't think they can take the entire thing. The red team is actually moving topside now. The boss, now that we're 18 minutes in, is going to hurt a little bit. But they go for the fight. They go for the battle. Li Ming wants the resets. Alarak is gone. Li Ming gone too, but they take Jaina down. They take Jaina down. She's gone. And here's the dive for Karazim, who's still alive. Is probably going to get some help from Avatar in just a minute. And they're going at least for Muradin. But even he is able to jump out. And while all of this plays out, and Soaking swaps away, the bottom is wrecked. The boss will take the keep, is going to get it for sure. Abathar is dodging another lava wave, and they're still on the chase with another Storm Bolt. They try to get the kills here. They're all a little bit low as Soaking comes in with another ult, and the bottom falls. That's the keep gone, and the boss on its way towards the core. 14 kills, 2-8. And now Muradin on his way towards the top. That will allow them to obliterate the top side keep. So 2 keeps all of a sudden gone for the Kings. The IIS crew, they had a lot of bad luck in a lot of games that they played throughout the tournament. And I've been highlighting it multiple times. Now they're going up against one of the absolute top teams in this tournament. And the Kings are currently losing this series. And I actually believe that if the Kings are not winning this one, that they are maybe not #1 in the standings. They were basically set up to get the #1 slot today. And I honestly don't remember how the series against the Gremlins played out. But there is a chance that the Kings are now not getting the #1 spot. Now, they are making the #2, so either way, they will at least skip around in the playoffs, so they will have a better start there. The top 2 teams get that advantage. But if the Kings lose here, they might not be first place in the leaderboard anymore. The Gremlins might actually be ahead. It comes down to, I believe, the direct comparison. For now, though, the IIS crew hasn't won this game yet. They struggle a lot in tons of matches throughout the round robin, but now they're doing just so much better here, and you can really see this work for them. And yeah, with 14 kills to 8 and 2 keeps eliminated, it's now up to the blue team to somehow turn this around. So, yeah, down at the bottom of the map, we have Ubi defending, pushing this out. 22 stacks for Tyrande. Owling everything currently, just going for vision. And, yeah, 14 to 8 on the kill count. With the next double temple coming up. Wonder if they are trying to sneak over with Samuro and do some damage there. Now that we have also the lava wave at the bottom of the map. Yeah, Samuro is not even bothering with the bot lane. But I think Ubi's choice to go into lava wave was actually a really smart one here. They would have had a lot of problems on the macro level if they didn't go for that. They needed something that can deal with Abathar and Samuro. And now they have. So, yeah. The attack is there. Top side. Shots are already fired. And this is all going to be about the middle now. So, that keep is also going to fall if nobody contests it. Morenas is there and will try to do exactly that. But the middle keep is already getting a little bit low. Alarak all alone. And he's dead. Alarak, oh, sorry, my bad. They're going for, I thought he was the one getting flanked. In the middle is the attack. Samuro is the one that might be in trouble here. In the middle, though, it's a numbers advantage now for the IIS crew, and that leads to a quick death of Jaina, and they're also taking Ragnaros. That's game. That's game right there. Right there. They're taking everyone out. Jaina, at least, the counter kill. Morenas is doing what he can, but there's still double shots fired. And the keep is out. Alarak is destroyed. Tyrande, the own survivor. And Scorch is not going to be able to do anything here. It's a 5-man team wipe. And this is going to be the end of the core. It's going to eliminate it one way or another. Hunter Orc wants to be part of the finishing shot and the picture here. Nicely done. The IIS crew with another victory here. The Kings defeated. And that was pretty solid. 2 maps lost to the Kings, the IIS crew. They win 2 out of the 3 maps here. And well, we are heading for the playoffs now. GG, well played.